What I believe is the one who's going to switch from Yahweh to Yavoid is Donald Trump. He will turn America from Yahweh to Yavoid, because everything he says indicates that. He's going to really be a tremendous president in the United States. Tremendous. He's going to stand up to all the nations of the world. He's going to side with Israel when he realizes that they cannot make peace with Israel, as I've said before, because it's theologically impossible. And that's why I believe, remember I said that the Gemati of Donald Trump is Gemati Mashiach ben David? You know what that means? He, I believe, is the Mashiach of Edom. The Mashiach is nothing more than an anointed one, right? That completely reverses the order of something. Trump, I believe, is the Messiah of Edom, of Esau. And therefore, he will take them from Yahweh to Yavoid, from someone who afflicts Israel to someone who will assist them. And believe me, he's going to be fabulous with the Jewish people.
We will not rest until the horrible and vile ideology of anti-Semitism has been defeated and destroyed. For this reason, I recently signed an executive order to restrict federal funding to any college or university that spreads, supports, or promotes anti-Semitic prejudice in any form.
President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago.
Take a look at that.
I want to promise you one thing. If Trump was the president right now, we would be able to win 10 times faster and 10 times better against our Nazi enemies. He would give us any weapon we want, unconditional. He wouldn't care what the world is barking about. He would shut down these European liberals and tell them just be quiet. I run the show here.
Well, you know, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress. And now it doesn't. It's incredible, actually.
And you don't have to say, well, I don't know, what's he at, where's he at, I don't like the way you talk. I understand all that. But the thing is that we're talking about God's purposes. That's what we're talking about. God uses whom he'll use. But he was used. He also was used very powerfully for Jerusalem. Jerusalem, recognizing Jerusalem. He's the first modern leader, first leader since ancient times who recognized Jerusalem, as that. He was used in some very, very important ways. Look, by the way, people forget about it, is the Golan Heights. He said we recognize the Golan Heights as part of Israel, So these are major things. So he will strengthen, his way has been to strengthen Israel. We'll see what happens, but that's what it has been in the first administration. Israel loves Trump, and it's one of the few nations that he would win.
Don't forget, I don't know if you haven't watched the show, I happen to be Jewish by birth, and 75% of all Jews vote Democrat, and they don't like Trump. And this is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. Trump's the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people love him like he is the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God.
I am the chosen one.
What I believe is that, this is a quote from him, he says, what I believe is that the one who is going to switch from Esau from persecuting the Jews to Esau who is serving the Jews is Donald Trump. Rabbi Kessin claims he is going to purify Edom.
So the Rashiva feels that everyone should vote for Donald Trump. That's
100%. Every year and every go.
That's right.
If you hate Israel, vote Democrat. If you love Israel, vote for Donald J. Trump. It's that simple.
President Donald Trump was the first American president who stood up in defiance to the entrenched and endemic anti-Israel attitude of all previous U.S. administrations towards our presence in the Holy Land. Only he or somebody like him would be the person who deserves this great honor of representing Western society and fulfilling the prophecy uttered to our matriarch Rebecca. The elder one will serve the younger one. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago. and I have good reason to believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Esav through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem.
This was a special token of affection given by myself and the First Lady to Prime Minister and the First Lady of Israel. And it's a key, we call it a key to the White House, and it's a key to our country and to our hearts.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I have said, and this is true, that you have the key to the hearts of the people of Israel because of all the great things you've done for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. So thank you.
Why is it better to be here in Davos than in Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're here meeting with world leaders, the biggest, most important people in the world, and we're bringing back tremendous business in the United States, and they're all here to see. We look forward to being here. Klaus has done a fantastic job.
You know, there are prophets that say the world will come to an end in the Middle East.